Welcome to Man at the Tap, a podcast from Tapestry Ministries. Each episode reflects on a daily Bible reading from the Revised Common Lectionary. I'm Gloria, a fellow traveler on a spiritual journey with the Tapestry community, and we refer to the daily Bible reading as our spiritual manna. It nourishes our souls, fostering spiritual growth as we share insights and interpretations that enrich our spiritual lives. Today is Tuesday, October the 21st, 2025, in the 19th week after Pentecost during this season of ordinary time. This is a time for us to live an extraordinary disciplined life as we grow spiritually. The lectionary reading is from 1 Samuel chapter 25, the second installment of a trilogy about a wise and beautiful woman, her husband, a wicked sheep rancher, and the wrath of the king in waiting, who is none other than David, the one anointed to succeed King Saul after his death. In the first installment of the trilogy, David had sent 10 of his young men to the home of the wicked sheep rancher, hoping to be rewarded for defending the rancher's sheep and shepherds from Philistine raids in the desert. The rancher's reply angered David. He told David's young men that he didn't want to share his food with strangers, and he claimed not to know anyone named David. The servants and shepherds of the wicked rancher testified that David had indeed protected them in the desert, and they told the man's wife about what he had done. She quickly prepared a feast for David and his men, instructing her servants to go ahead of her with the food, and she would join them shortly. Today's lectionary reading is from 1 Samuel chapter 25, verses 23 to 35. The wise woman and David meet on the road after descending the mountain ridge. The wise woman quickly dismounted her donkey and bowed her face to the ground before David, who was surprised. She apologized for her husband's behavior, acknowledging to David that her husband's name means fool and that he acted like a fool and was not to be taken seriously. She took responsibility for what happened when the 10 young men arrived at the ranch, and she was now present on her own behalf and on behalf of the servants and the others living in the rancher's home. She then showed David the feast she had prepared. She continued to talk. She told David that she was grateful that it was the Lord who had prevented him from seeking revenge, asking that the gift of food she brought be given to the young men who followed him. The wise woman then asked for forgiveness for her presumption. She was confident that the Lord would establish David's kingdom as a lasting one because he was fighting the Lord's battles and no wrongdoing would be found in him as long as he lived. Without mentioning the name of King Saul, who was pursuing David to kill him, she reminded David that the Lord would continue to protect him and ultimately defeat his enemies. David had misjudged the wicked rancher and his household, but now he's left speechless as the wise woman of the house has calmed him. She reminded David to think about the consequences of his current actions, which included seeking revenge by shedding blood. In the future, when he is king, it will be a heavy burden on his reputation. David praised the Lord for sending the wise woman to meet him and to prevent him from harming her or killing everyone in the wicked rancher's home. He accepted her gift of food, telling her, "Return home in peace. I've heard your words, and I'll grant your requests." This marks the end of the second part of the trilogy today. Please listen to the podcast tomorrow for the third and final installment.